Some crime scenes stay with you, and not because of the violence, but because of the silence that comes after. I remember the way that my stomach dropped seeing it. I remember the way that I felt, or should have felt, I guess, but I didn't have any emotions, and we'll get into that later. But I remember it all. At least my body did. And this is the story of Bloodstains and Breakthroughs, which is my book, and it's also my podcast. And this is my very first attempt at a podcast. So anyway, welcome. This case changed me not only as a crime scene investigator, but as a person. And this one is tattooed on my body. It is my mustache tattoo. And the mustache tattoo, I nickname every single one of my crime scenes. One, for privacy reasons for the victims, but also because it dehumanizes them in a way. And in a way, it helps me be able to tell my story to y'all. But at the same time, I kind of feel bad that I give them nicknames. I feel bad that I reference a human being as Hammerhead Lady, as Shotgun to the Face Guy, as Swiss Cheese Lady, as Maggot Butthole Guy. I feel bad, okay? And I'm sorry. I am. I have to dehumanize them in order to tell the story. And this is the story that changed me. And I think it changed other people's lives too. Some for the better, some for the worst. I want to focus on the better. I want to focus on the fact that this one man changed my life forever and is scarred in my brain and on my body. This crime scene led to a 5-year friendship, and I would love to talk about that. I got called. I remember it was dark. That's about all I remember. I have CPTSD and I have memory loss. So chances are likely I don't remember you or anything. Listen, I don't remember what I did yesterday, let alone the thing about crime scenes is you have to go testify to them years later, which is crazy because how the hell am I supposed to know how many people were on my crime scene 3 years ago? But I digress. That's not the point of this story. So, mustache guy, I get called. It's dark, or it's getting dark, and it's a deceased person in a vehicle, and it's an apartment complex. And so I go drive through the apartment complex, and we go up to the house first. That's where my detectives are. And they go, "Who's in the car?" And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I went out to the car. And listen, I don't know what I was expecting, but what I saw wasn't what I was expecting. Not even in the slightest. I expected somebody to be deceased and in the car, but my brain did not expect a body to be sitting straight up in the car, but from here up, it's completely gone. Well, it's not completely gone. Let me rephrase that. It's a mangled mess. Some of it's gone in the car. Some of it's not. Anyway, there's a shotgun in between his legs. And it's really bloody in there. So I know to kind of poke my head in and not look up and smile, keep your mouth closed, don't talk type of vibes, which that's the thing. You're not supposed to be "Oh, what's that?" Especially on a suicide or anyway. I work the scene and I've taken my photographs. My detective and I get the gun or the rifle out of the car, and he has to unload it because I'm taking photographs of him unloading it to prove that there was something in the chamber, there wasn't, so on and so forth. So I'm taking photographs of him and of him unloading the weapon, and he gets to the point where he, cocks it back and it, ejects, and blood gets on him. And so he screams like a little girl because He's a detective. Detectives do nothing. I mean, no, they do a lot. They don't actually get down and work. Okay. They just stand around and go, hey, what do you think? No, this is what I think. No, what do you think? And I'm over here busting my butt, sweating, like whatever. So we get him out of the car after we get the gun out. And there's this little girl, not little, she's a grown woman, but I'm 6 foot and she's like 5'6" on a good day. And she's the only one there that I remember, at least, that is there to get him out of the car. And she looks like she needs some help. And yeah, I'm a girl's girl, so I'm offered to help. And hey, it's a chance to touch a dead body. Because most of the time I'm like collecting evidence, I'm taking photographs, I'm documenting. A lot of the times, like, I didn't have to touch the body. There were policies and procedures set in place that nobody's allowed to touch the body until the ME was there. So I figured, let me go help this girl. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, do you need help getting him out of the car? And she says yes. And so we wrangle him out of the car. And then we got to pick up the bits and pieces of him, the skull fragments, the teeth, the blood, not the blood, the brain matter, and all of it. And so we're looking around the car and she goes, I found his nose. And she screams it. Do you want to hold it? And I like perk up and I'm like, yes. And I was like, shit. I was like, I have my camera in my hands. I was like, I have to photograph it. And so that had sparked a friendship, because who doesn't bond over crime scenes? It's crazy because you sit here and you're seeing the most fucked up shit. And at the same time, you're cracking the most fucked up jokes. Like this case, shotgun to the face guy, I remember I made a horrible joke. His driver's license said he had blue eyes. And I said, he sure did. One blew that way and the other one blew that way. And then I giggled. And that's that's a fucked up thing to say and do. But in order to do the job, you have to disassociate. But I had spent my entire life disassociating. And what most people don't understand is that with complex PTSD, with all kinds of trauma, even if your brain doesn't remember it, your body does. I developed a chronic illness. And what's crazy to me is I had been operated on 4 times. I had been to countless emergency rooms. I had spent weeks and weeks and probably at least a month and a half, 2 months in the hospital on and off. And doctors told me that I needed a home health care nurse, TP, and IV, and a feeding tube. I used to be 385 pounds. And now, obviously, not 385 pounds anymore. I'm in the 160s, but I was also in the 140s. And my doctor wanted me at like 180. And I had been 180 for months and months and years. And then I'm in the 140s. And nobody's concerned that I'm 30 pounds underweight, that I'm not able to eat, not able to function. I'm vomiting, going to work. But the vomiting all started years ago in 2016, when I first started in law enforcement. And then the vomiting stopped when I became a CEO. And I healed myself from the trauma. I healed myself from shrinking. I healed myself by doing somatic therapy and EMDR, and even talk therapy helped me heal in certain ways. The stress levels you're put under, the amount of trauma that you carry within your body leads to autoimmune disease. I'm living proof. I've posted multiple videos on here back from 2015, where I was deathly ill. These are videos that aren't fun for me to look at, but I had gotten gaslit for years saying that I was making it all up for attention, or that it was anxiety. I because I was a crime scene investigator, I was on antidepressants and I was on anxiety meds. And I started having stomach issues. And my doctor said, hey, it's the anxiety meds messing with your stomach. You should get off of them. So I get off of them. But I'm off of them, and now I'm out of the police force, and I need some sort of help. So I turn to a certain substance because I had read the medical benefits of it. And that substance is not legal where I'm at. And that's a shame because I also know that it helps so many other people. It helps cancer patients. It helps narcoleptics. It helps so many people, including me. And I'm former law enforcement. I've never smoked a day in my life. And that's crazy because I swear every person that has an addiction, there's a little kid that swore they never would do it. And I promised myself that I was going to get into law enforcement. The reason I got into crime scene was because my sister was murdered when I was 7 years old. And I saw the crime scene photos when I was 11. The blood, the gore, the guts, the autopsy. I sat there with my mom and read the autopsy report and giggled because we couldn't pronounce any of the medical terms. Which, duh, who can? But I was built to be the good girl. I was built to not ask questions. I was built to stay small. I was built to not make waves. And that's the way that I was trained. And it's crazy because when I was 385 pounds, more people loved me when I hated myself. I had more friends than I do now. I have more peace than I do now. Cheers to that. But there's a certain level of grief that comes with it. Because that same girl that I worked shotgun to the face guy with was my friend for 5 years and watched me go through this chronic illness and blatantly ignored me 98% of the time because I was the strong friend. I had it all together. We don't have to worry about me. That's... Anyway, I learned that even though you're trauma bonded with somebody, and we have matching tattoos, both of us have this tattoo, even if you're trauma bonded to somebody, you can't stay in the trauma. Staying in the trauma is what gave me a chronic illness. All of my trauma, in fact, my childhood trauma, my trauma from my crime scene days, my medical trauma, and it all came to a big blow up. One hospital trip. When I was a crime scene investigator, I worked a hanging that was a dog leash and a closet. That's all it takes, folks. Dog leash, closet, rope, doorknob. You don't even need a weapon, really. And I remember telling my friends that I was having flashbacks of my crime scenes, of every suicide I'd ever worked. But my body, or my brain, had replaced the victim's body with my own. And that made me want to end my life. And what's crazy is my pleas for help went ignored. And then when I spoke up about it, I became the problem, which that's cool because I'm healed and I understand the psychology and I understand the hidden meaning behind how people treat you. So no hate, but your life the way it is because, well, I wasn't the problem because how you still got all the same problems. That was a whole tyrant on another subject. This got off topic. This is why I don't do podcasts. See, like I talk to you like I'm your friend, or I I don't have friends. Okay, you're my friend. Social media. I'm sorry. You sign the contract when you hit subscribe. So you're my bestie now. Sup? I'm drinking coffee at like 6:30 p.m. to get me through this right now while my man's making us dinner. So bear with me. Too much Starbucks coffee. Anyway, hello, my love. I was just talking about you.
Nice. Yeah, I can join you.
Absolutely.
What do you want me
You can do whatever. You can ask questions you've always wanted to know for a crime scene investigator. We can talk about our career change and what we're doing with that. We can promote our business.
Any questions?
I don't have any popped up.
Oh, okay.
You want?
Oh, you're just recording the video.
Yeah.
I thought you were live. Sorry.
No, not live. I could go live. I'm kind of doing a podcast in a way that's like I'm talking to my bestie.
Yeah.
Type of vibes. And so I've gone off topic like 3 times. You know, whatever. Hi. Do you want to go live?
Yeah, what size ring do you wear?
I don't know, but I have a ring sizer in the closet.
Alright, cool. It's only a question I really want to know.
That's so cute. I love you.
Yeah, come on.
That
I
was
just got the chicken and all so
sweet. How long on the chicken?
like 20 minutes.
Sweet.
Yeah, time, yeah.
Then let's go live.